This is International Master Eric Kislik, and this video is about using logic to find wins in chess. The problem is that what most players do when they're looking for a win, either during their games or during solving exercises, is that usually we just put together some candidate moves, or we have some moves in mind. We look for some immediate wins, and if we don't find them, we just kind of move in circles, or we basically give up. But I have a very systematic approach, which I haven't seen anywhere and seems to be far superior to every other solving method I've seen, which is actually very simple. The basic principle is that we look at attacking from most valuable to least valuable. So what you can see here, as I say, directly attack the king, threatening mate directly, or with the threat of mate shortly after. So if we can checkmate the king, there's no point to look at anything else. The next option is, if we can't checkmate the king, well, we can try to promote a pawn or attack the queen. If we can get our own queen or win the opponent's queen, we'll almost definitely be winning. So there would be, again, no point to look for anything else. And if we can't mate the king or win the queen, we next try to target a rook and then target a piece. And if there's no decisive material that we can win, then we can aim for a decisive structural advantage, for example, making an exchange or playing a pawn push that destroys their pawn structure. And lastly, we might want to carry out a dominant maneuver and aim for pure domination. I had one game where I put a knight on d5. I was down 2 pawns, but my position was completely winning. So that can happen as well. The main problem is that a lot of players learn CCT, which is checks, captures, threats. The problem is, what happens when you have 10 checks? What happens when you have 10 captures? What happens when you have 15 threats? You can't go through every move. You need a systematic and logical way to think about it. So this is my approach, and let's test it out with some chess.com tactics and see how it works out for us. Okay, so here we are with black, and we're looking for a direct win. Ideally, I would just want to try to checkmate the king if there's a direct way for me to do that. So how can I try to attack the king directly to try to win material? The other option is to try to win one of his rooks, because both of his rooks are undefended. So if there was some forcing way to do that, that would be great. But actually, because of the fact that he doesn't have any checks, so even if we can't checkmate on this move, we can threaten checkmate. And a threat could be on the g4 square. So this is the first option here, is just different ways to threaten checkmate. So the first thing I did is I looked around the board, I noticed some tactical vulnerabilities, and now I'm looking at directly mating the king. So how about I just play the simple move f5. So I was just threatening checkmate on g4. So now, the simplest is just to take this. So I just took the rook. Simple enough. So that one wasn't about mating the king, but it was about threatening checkmate, which was unstoppable. All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so this one is clearly going to be about promotion. There's no way to attack black's king, but we may be able to try to promote our pawn. So let's see what happens here. If we go b6, he has to go back with rook c8. And then we can just play bishop e5. We've cut him off, and we're just going to queen. So that's really all we need. Bishop e5, and it's all over. We have b7 and b8 queen. So that one was pretty simple. It was just about promoting a pawn. And the important thing is, if you're going through systematically and thinking about these points 1 through 6, you can basically decide by process of elimination that it has to be about promotion, because there's no other way that we're going to win here. We're not going to checkmate the king, and we're not going to win the rook. So we don't have other options. It has to be promotion there. So that worked out nicely. All right, let's do 3 more. Hopefully we can keep this streak alive and keep getting them right. Okay, well, this one looks a little tricky. Let me just count the material first. 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. All else is equal materially. So there are some questions here. What about... My first thought is, what if I just simply move the queen back and go queen to h5? because my queen's attacked. I see queen takes g3 check. It doesn't seem to lead to anything. Other ways to attack the king aren't very clear, but queen to h5 does look pretty natural. So I'm not sure what he plays after that, because bishop takes h3 is coming. So yeah, the problem for him here is that I can play bishop takes h3 anyway. And then I have g4. And then I have queen takes h3. Yeah, and then I just have mate. Okay. So that one was just about realizing, okay, well, I can't target his king directly. I can't target his queen directly. His rooks are secure. But I can target his king after moving the queen and then going for bishop takes h3. So that worked out nicely. Let's do two more. Okay. So what are we looking at here? Well, materially 2, 4, 2, 4, 5. Okay, so black is up a pawn. Our queen is attacked. If we go queen takes d7, bishop takes d7, our rook on e4 is undefended. So what other options do we have here? Well, we need to do something immediate because our queen is attacked. And queen takes d7 is not going to cut it, so we're basically out of options. So we have to play rook takes e6, and what this does is it removes the queen's defender. So you just get to play this, and what that did is we directly attacked the queen with that move. We removed the defender. So here we're winning. Okay, that was a fairly easy one. All right, this will be the last one. Okay, so it's white to move. Apparently this one isn't going to be about finding wins, but it's simply going to be about drawing the position. Okay, well, I think this one's going to be quite easy. Well, we can play bishop h4. I see it, bishop h4. So we pin the pawn. Bishop to f4, and there it's probably most accurate to play the move h6 immediately so that he takes with the knight. You'll see why. So I see a stalemate here. So unfortunately this one's not about wins, but it's basically the same sort of concept. So I play this. All right, so he defends the g3 pawn. Now I can play h6 because I see the prospect of stalemate. So h6, knight takes h6, and now bishop takes g3. And after bishop takes g3, my king is stalemated. So hopefully you can see the concept. You know, I really thought it would be quite boring to do this for 45 minutes, you know, and just kind of repeat the same method over and over and over again. But you can see how I solve tactics, and actually it's very simple and systematic. So I hope you can try this out, solving tactics online. I quite like the tactics servers on Chess Tempo and chess.com. You'll notice that the second step is one that's missed by many players. It's simply skipped over by a lot of players. There will be a lot of positions where there's no way to checkmate the king, but there'll be a simple move, either trapping the queen or attacking the queen, and it'll win right away. So yeah, definitely look this through. Think about it deeply. Think about if it makes sense to you. If you can think of a better system to find wins in chess, definitely tell me about it. I'm happy to always improve my methods, but so far this is by far the best that I've found and has actually been very, very useful with students and with other strong players I've shown it to. So hopefully this has been useful, and this has been Eric Kislik. Thanks.